And welcome to another video from Layout 123, and today we're going to be having a look at the Hornby Eurostar. And, well, start off with, what can I say really? I mean, I've had the Eurostar for quite a few months, probably years even, and it's a model that, yes, it's alright. I mean, it's nothing to shout about. The detailing isn't brilliant. The quality of the loco is adequate, but not something I really would recommend highly. I mean, it is a nice train to have as in your collection, but I'm going to expose some of the things that have been going wrong with my Eurostar, and maybe you've had this happen to you, but unfortunately, if you've managed to watch the start of the review without being bored, then you will see one of the main flaws. Well, as you can see at the start of the video, I had this East Coast HST pulling the Hornby Eurostar along, and that is because the motor section of my Eurostar has broken down for the second time of me having it. And the first thing that went wrong with it was the motor, which burnt out, and then it's happened exactly the same again. So if we have a look underneath, we've got Hornby Hobbies written down that end in letters. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see that, but we also have on the front, we have the nice lights which actually have reflectors in them, which I don't really see the point of, because on the actual train set it shows the Eurostar with lights, and then when you buy it, it doesn't have lights. Whose bright idea was that? No pun intended. The coupling system is pretty simple. The idea is that one bit laps over the other, like so. It's all right, but the thing is, when it breaks, it's not ideal. I think the best way they could have done it is if you could have had interchangeable pins, plastic pins, so that if one did break, you could push it out and put a new one in. Because the actual, this is the dummy end, the driving end is broken, so there's no point in showing you a broken driving end, and the motor burnt out for the second time, so I don't really know. Another thing to point out as well is that when I was younger, the pantographs broke off at one end, because it's pretty delicate, all the pantograph stuff. I don't even think this one stands up properly. Oh no, fair play. Stands up properly, but there should be another bit there which is missing. I mean, if we have a look at the carriages, you can see inside we do have some interior detail with seats. And there's another strange thing about this, but it's pretty decent system, is the fact that you've got the coupling from one coach which goes through and wraps itself around the middle bogie section of that, which is pretty clever. Good idea from Hornby. The only problem with it is, which I might be able to show you in a minute, is that when you put it together, it's really tough to get apart, and then things like that happen. But back to the actual look of the Eurostar. I mean, yeah, it is very nice. You've got the running number down the side and the words Eurostar. But as nice as it is, it could have been a lot better. And it could have been a great deal better. I mean, if we look down the side, then you will see that there, it's not really, I mean, the door is there, but it's just all been engraved on. I mean, if I bring back the East Coast, you can see the door is there, and it even opens. I mean, that's such a nice feature to have. So whoever made this at Hornby wasn't, I don't know, it's more of what I would consider a starter set than a real collector's piece for Eurostar. Carriages are pretty good, they're pretty decent, and there were several different series of carriages you could buy to join on to the set. You had the buffet car and that sort of thing that you could add to it as well. And at the moment, as I showed in the start, we've got the East Coast pulling it because we haven't got a motor. But let me know, have you had problems with the Eurostar like I have, or is it just me? I mean, value for money. This particular one came in a set with the track and the controller, and I'm just going to show you the box that it came in. So this is the box that the set came in, which is pretty exciting. It looks like a pretty good train when you see it like this. And if we just have a look, it came with the mat that I don't think many people use, and then that just shows you what you got, some track and that sort of thing. This came from Model Zone, when Model Zone was around and existed, and I think it was around the £100 mark, and that's all this is really worth, I would say. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not brilliant, and it could be a lot better. So now, overall, I'd give this train probably a 5 out of 10. It's got quite a nice look to it, and when it does run, it is a pretty smooth runner. But the problems I've had with my Eurostar, I would say, as a set, it is definitely value for money, because you're getting a loco, and then all the track as well, which I think is excellent, really. But whoever has this set, have you had the problems with the motor burning out? Or is it just me? I mean, if we look at the driving section, when I do get it repaired, I did do a video called the Eurostar Update a few months ago. I don't know, if you go back and look at that, I'll show you what I was attempting to do, but it never worked because the motor had burnt out. And if you look underneath, on the driving section, it's got the traction tyres. If you really wanted to beef up the Eurostar, I think they should have done both bogie units being driven, because one little bogie does not have the power to pull these heavy coaches and the dummy end. And I think I will just show you it snaking around the track, because that's what I always used to compare it to, because it has got quite a lot of snaky look to it, the way it does swerve around the track, and it is a pretty nice and smooth runner, and it makes a lovely sound. But it's such a shame that this model could have been so much better. Oh, wrong way. Will it reconnect? There we go. I should just show you how I've got these connected in there. It's just hooked over the tension lock into the little hole, which does work quite nicely. I know this is going to sound like a bit of a strange thing to say, but just try and focus on the Eurostar end. And there you have the Eurostar snaking its way around. Wouldn't it be great if they did this in real life? And look how weird that looks. I tried, when I did the starter, not to include as much of it as I could, but I did, and now I think it's time to say thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe, and let's see what we'll be reviewing next. Stay tuned, keep up to date. Thank you very much.